I'm Jarrod Berry's #1 fan. My name's Troy and I'm also his dad.
Don't put any sugar on this either. Tell him the truth.
What's in the box represents the one and only time that my three boys ever played football together. And that was gifted to us by the Horsham community, because you've got 6 years of difference between the eldest boy and the youngest boy. The club decided that they would honour the boy's late mother 2 days after she passed away by playing football together. It was very humbling to see the three of them all in the same gear, being able to kick the ball to each other and shepherd someone away from tackling them. And that's my little memory of us after the game. You can see the happiness in my face.
When he pulled that out, it twigged me mind straight away. Like, that would be the most proudest moment of my football career by the length of the Flemington Straight, because of the time, because of what it meant. And yeah, family for us is #1. So see mum in the background, and I think that's pretty metaphoric for how we sort of live our lives now. She instilled those morals and stuff, but she's not gone. She's still a part of us, and us three boys plus dad live her memory through our actions. So it's pretty special, that photo. Yeah, I'm lucky I got a little glimpse in that box before you.
Oh, did you?
I was doing a few deep breaths before. Would have definitely got me if I opened the box.
Memories of Jarrod as a young fellow is just so much joy, so much happiness. Nothing ever troubled him. From the crack of dawn in the morning, just be going full noise until he went to sleep at night, and sometimes late at night. Our job, very much, was just keeping him fed and keeping him hydrated so that he didn't crash and burn.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, joy, I think, is something that, as a kid I've felt, and I like to now, the people around me feel like they're a part of the circle and I care about them a lot.
He's always remained loyal to family and to friends that helped him on his journey. He's always got time for those people, even though he's got a very, very busy life.
It's nice that you get to hear that from the old man and get that reinforced. But yeah, it's sort of just a testament, I guess, to the upbringing that I was able to have from these guys, and a testament to, throughout those teenage years and stuff like that, and you go through, the trials and tribulations of life, that I was able to stay true to who I was back when I was a young fella. So
you only got to have a look at his smile. He'll light up a room when he smiles.
I've got a smile like mum, eh?
Yeah.
That's what everyone tells me.
Yeah.
Especially the aunties, they always say, I've got a smile like Dad. So yeah, just keep smiling.
In the backyard, we would play footy pretty much every night. So I'd come home from work, and the boys would be completely kitted out in all their gear, like proper footy jumpers, the socks, even though the socks would go pretty much up to the bottom of their shorts.
We're even warmed up, ready to go, weren't we?
Ready, warmed
done
up,
the leg swings.
done the leg swings. and the minute I got out of the car, we were out the back, the ball would be bounced, and that was probably some of the first memories I have of Jarrod actually playing footy. And we had a big street light set up in the backyard that we would turn on, and everyone would come and play under lights, and we'd have the goalposts, everything set up. And it was not uncommon to have half a dozen kids running around in the backyard.
Perks of working for the council, you can pick that stuff up for free, can't you?
Exactly. So
probably didn't even realise one of the street lights was gone, but it was in our backyard so we could play footy. Yeah, well, my arms are longer than my legs, aren't they? So my hero was Lloyd, hence the Bombers jersey. Joel's, he was Akermanis, wasn't it? And and the young fella in the middle was Gary Ablett. So yeah, that was our little backyard in Nil. Yeah, it was all makeshift and stuff. Like one end down to the left was the sandpit, which was the goals, and then the other end was old train line sleepers stuck up in a bit of concrete. You see that pole in the background? That's our street light.
That's a street light.
Needless to say that, you know, most nights we ended up at a draw somehow. You know, the games just ended up in a draw. I don't know how. Maybe the dominant bloke on field would just make sure. That was
under very strict instructions, because I was also the umpire, so I made some dubious calls over the years. So it was mandatory that I made sure each game was a draw in some shape, way or form, and you know, it was absolutely classic when it didn't actually happen as a draw, because it was totally off the charts. Like, there was no consoling them whatsoever.
We wanted to win, didn't we?
Yeah, that was just a special moment to actually have your boy drafted to the AFL and then allow him to live out what he put so much hard work into and spent pretty much his entire life focused on and wanting to do and achieve. Bright lights, cameras, action, you name it.
I think my initial reaction was shock, and then after that it was like I was starting to piece things together. You know, I saw Dad across the table, real happy, gave him a hug and, you know, all that sort of yahooing and carrying on. But then the special moment for me after that was realising that, you know, Huey, one of my best mates, was drafted there. You know, it didn't click for me for probably 2 or 3 minutes, but then, you know, I saw him charging from backstage. His family like come over to our table, and it was that moment that I think, you know, I'll always remember. You know, moving across the country is one thing, but then be able to do it with one of your good mates makes it so much easier, makes it easy on the mind for Dad. And yeah, to be drafted to a great club in Brisbane was, you know, so special as well. So it sounds a bit stupid, but it changed our lives. Oh. And, you know, now we live a lifestyle that you couldn't even imagine of when we were back in Horsham and whatnot. So it's definitely special.
I've been fortunate enough to move to sunny Queensland from cold old wet Victoria, and yeah, it allows me to be closer to my 3 boys who are all up here in Queensland.
The amount of hours and stuff that he would do up and down that highway to Melbourne to then fly up to Queensland and, you know, stay stints up here. He did so much of that, so I feel like having him a little bit closer sort of makes me and my other brothers and, you know, our wider family a bit more settled, knowing that he's not doing those, you know, 12 o'clock drives. Yeah, I think that is just a little bit of peace of mind. But yeah, like, he's amazing in terms of the travel that he did to support us 3 boys.
My love and support for Jarrod is unconditional, and something that I will walk over broken glass to be there, to be able to show him that love, show him that support. And yeah, I think he would be the first to say that I'm always there for him.
I'm Jarrod Berry, and my dad Troy is my #1 fan.